Okay, so last year I did not do cards because my life was just crazy. It still is, but I've found time to do this. So the last thing I like to do, I really like to recognize those 3-year 8th graders. One of the reasons I like to do that is because there's a level of commitment to come out each year and have Mr. Litchfield yell at you and still come back. Okay? And, you know, we get a lot of rotating athletes. I just talked about Quentin and Molly. Quentin came out this year as an 8th grader, which we love and appreciate. Molly came out as a 7th grader, which we love and appreciate. But there's something special to me about those kids that have been here for 3 years, and then they kind of finally get their moment in the sun. So I wish I could talk about each kid, but as I said, I'd be here until tomorrow morning with 89 kids on our roster. So the 6th graders and 7th graders that are sitting there and not getting acknowledged, as long as you put in the time and the effort, you will have that moment that I think a lot of us appreciate and enjoy. So 3-year 8th graders, there's 19 of them this year. So again, I'm going to be brief, but all of these children are kids I could talk about for quite a while. To work with an athlete for 3 years and to kind of see the growths and the strides that they make, it's just a lot of fun. There's not more that I can say other than it's really fun to watch a 6th grader. I was looking at the photos. I have all the photos in my classroom today, and just how young and little they look, you know, and then now where they are, to placing in the state, to being a part of a state championship, to being one of our top runners, or to just finishing in a way that it just is really awesome. Again, we look at those times, and none of our runners get worse, which is something we kind of take pride in. And those 3-year runners, they just put in so much effort over the years that it means a lot. So the first child that I would like to recognize, so I just have these little cards. What's in them? On the one side, you're going to find a random sports quote that I, in some weird way, think has to do with you. Then I write a little thoughtful message, and then they all say thank you for your commitment to our program, because to be with us for 3 years, it is a commitment. We are a fall sport, so we compete with all these other sports. We're kind of a rotating door of a sport. We always start with 60 6th graders, and then by the time they're in 8th grade, we only have about 10 kids. In all my years of doing this is my 5th year as a coach. This is the biggest group of 8th graders that I have. And I like to think that has something to do with kind of the coaching and the program and the families that are involved with the sport. So my first 8th grader I'd like to recognize on the girls' side is Olivia Lewis-Sanis. This next child, I got a very nice email from her mother today that she said, I think Mr. Mosley's going to be a great dad someday. So hopefully I'm doing that. But that's Olivia DeAngelis. This child got an award earlier. I just want to say, you know, it's a tough season for her. To get injured as an athlete is not easy, especially when you're competitive. You know, I got injured when I was college wrestling my senior year and kind of had to stop. And it was hard to be on the sideline and watch, you know, knowing that you have that competitive nature in you. And she did that. Then she persevered through it, came back for states, and was a huge help to us. Alexis Christie. Another child, you know, I recognize all these kind of really highly talented individuals. You all really are. You know, the sky's the limit for all of you. You're so young, and the opportunities are there, especially if you're running through 3 years and putting in the commitment. But there are children that I feel very close to, and I feel like we've come a long way. We have mature conversations, and I just picture bright things, whether it's running or just something else in life. And this is one of those kids, Hannah Golden. I've said a lot about this kiddo tonight, but I would echo the same sentiments, and that's Grace McHugh. This next kiddo, another one I also feel, you know, when you always hear like, oh, girls mature faster, okay? If you don't believe that, coach a middle school boys and girls program and you will quickly learn that the girls are almost 10 years more mature than the boys mentally. Okay? I have boys eating grass and throwing rocks at each other. Okay? And then the girls are just standing there wondering what's going on. This is a child I think is wise beyond her years. And I just feel like we've had a bond through the years. You know, there's always those kids that you kind of look back and, you know, I know she's got big things in front of her. Also another one, I think this isn't her main thing, but she's very competitive, which has made it hard. I understand that, I've been there. And just a great individual and spread in order. This kid, I could just throw it at her, and that's good enough for me. No, I'm just kidding. There's always that kid that you kind of love and hate. You know, that one that's a natural-born leader, but is somewhat annoying at the same time. And I feel comfortable saying that because she kind of has that relationship, and that's where we're at. But we're gonna miss you. You know, I picture big things. You know, all these kids are just so talented. I don't know what they're gonna be doing, but Sarah Potter. Two more 8th grade girls, and our boys, and we're good for time. Another kid, you know, the kids that make it 3 years, I feel close to them. Me and Jeff, as we coach them, we kind of play good cop, bad cop. You know, when it comes to school stuff and fooling around, I'm bad cop, he's good cop because he doesn't care about any of that. No, I'm just kidding, he does. But then when it comes to running, I'm kind of like, oh, Coach Litchfield's tough, huh? You know, because I just think they need that balance. And the kids that are here for 3 years, you know, you really kind of form a bond with them. Another kid that I feel very close with, and just bright future ahead of you, and that's Carolyn Quirk. All right, the last of our 8th grade girls who have run for 3 years. Another kiddo with just a positive attitude, wonderful to be around, really perseveres and works hard, and has a bright future in running ahead of her, and that's Nadia Lane.